talking about mindfulness. And specifically in this section, I want to talk about mindfulness techniques. And so, once again, I already talked about what mindfulness was, the idea of being self aware to a more or less degree, but not only just self aware, but the ramifications of your self awareness. I went deep already, so you should have a pretty in depth understanding at this point in this course. Specifically, now I just want to give you a few techniques that you can use and apply in your daily life to help you become more self-aware, to help you apply mindfulness more regularly and in your daily life. So the first one being deep breathing. Now, some of these techniques I may be able to demonstrate for you. I probably won't, but I may be able to. Whereas some of these I'll just can only explain given space and camera angles and all that fun stuff. So deep breathing, this is one that's pretty self-explanatory. It's just the idea of taking a moment. You don't need an entire, see, I just did it there. You don't need an entire setup. Some people are very ritualistic when it comes to certain things like that. Honestly, you could be at work behind your computer, behind your desk, and be like, you know what, I just need a moment. And just take some time to just breathe and relax and recollect your thoughts. And that's honestly why you do it, or why I have it listed as something that you should do, because you never know when you honestly just need to recollaborate, collect yourself, or when you are exposed to something that may disrupt you a little bit, but just because you're disrupted doesn't mean that you can stop. You know what I'm saying? You're in a situation where I can't get away from this, but at the same time, this is not having a healthy effect on me, so I need to do something to mitigate the undue stress that I'm starting to receive from a moment. Take a deep breath. Relax. Take several deep breaths, Get into a well-ventilated area so that you can take a deep breath. Go outside. Like, these are really practical, really simple, really easy, but they are also just that important, where it could be the difference between you freaking out, you snapping, and having a mental breakdown, and being able to put up with, or to go a little bit further than you might have been able to do otherwise. The next technique that I want to highlight is, and like these are going to be quick. There's a lot of lesson here, and I took up a little bit of time, so I don't want to hold you up in one spot. The next technique for you to utilize in your mindfulness is energy release. What is that? So, energy release is something fancy, but basically, I refer to it as anything that is aerobic. So anything that requires a little bit of moving, a little bit of like just getting your body up and active. It can also be referred to as changing your state. So just literally changing your body. From that perspective, it's the idea of something in motion tends to stay in motion, while something at rest tends to stay at rest. So that's a different way of using it. That's not how I have it listed here, but it's still effective. Where if you need to be self motivated, get yourself started, release some energy, change where your body is, where your mood is, and be more proactive through jumping up and down, jumping jacks, through dancing, throw some music on and dance, whatever the case may be. Another way to apply this, and the way that I'm referring to it more directly in this section, is by releasing energy through those same methods of dancing, jumping jacks, whatever the case may be, so that you can almost relax or come to a state of like, all right, I can do this. If you remember the welcome video, yes, I know the final cut, what you saw was pretty good, but that's after a whole lot of nerves, a whole lot of excitement, a whole lot of just being jittery. And so while in those moments, while I was preparing that video for you, what did I do in between takes? Release some energy, turn some music on. All right, I'm a little too nervous, I'm a little too giddy. So I literally jumped up and just started dancing around and jumping up and down as a way to alleviate any anxiety or anything that might have been causing me to be a little bit uneasy in that moment. Make sense? hopefully. The next thing that you can use within your mindfulness technique or mindfulness application is meditation. Not going to go too deep into this. Everyone meditates in their own way. Some people have varying definitions on what meditation is. When I speak of the topic and the idea of meditation, I am talking generally taking a moment, sitting down under proper and right situations. Um, for me, that looks like, either on the floor via a yoga mat or in a chair like I'm sitting on right now, but it's comfortable with a back upright posture, chest out, back straight, hands in a neutral position, and my eyes are closed, and I'm practicing constant flow of my breath, regulating my breath. A lot of times I like to do this in the morning, staring out of a window with the sun coming up. That's just to keep me centered, keep me at peace. Like I said, everybody does meditation slightly differently, but one of the things and main benefits of meditating is so that it will central you or keep you, in equilibrium and in harmony with yourself. Once again, I'm not going into details. I'm not going to tell you to look at a ball of light or anything like that. I've been in those classes. I know the realness or the lack thereof of some deep meditation, and some people consider meditation something totally different. But the point that I'm making is it should be something that centralizes you, something that focuses your thought, focuses your mind, and something that ultimately allows you that after it, you come out of it with a state of peace, a state of clarity, and an ability to take on whatever it is you have to take on in the duration or course of your day. The next thing on the list is journaling. Journaling, I don't want to be melodramatic here, but journaling is amazing. I appreciate journaling so much. I'm perpetually always journaling. Once again, I'll plug my website, lifewithkin.com, which I'm sure is how you found me. But if not, lifewithkin.com, it started off, before it became what it is today, it started off as a straight up blog where all I would do was, in effect, journal. Just share how I'm feeling, share all my thoughts, share all my ideas. In fact, in the bonus content, again, there is a section where I just share one of my original posts. This was before anybody was even reading it, before I thought that I would do it, because honestly, this, wasn't even a thought when I started my blog. But I say all that to say, like, the power of journaling for me has literally changed my life. But journaling is important or valuable in that you take that moment to just write, and when you write, there's no parameters, and that was the part that I fell in love with when I started journaling. There is no parameters. A lot of times, if you're on your laptop, people can get daunted by the white paper, just the blank screen. But I always thought of that as an opportunity. When I think of myself as a creator, and for me, the blank page has always been my canvas, and so that's where I create the best type of work and the best type of content. But whether it's on the computer or a pen and paper, I like the value of a pen and paper because it's more tangible. I feel connected to something a little bit more. I keep pens literally. This is my work desk. That's why the screen's moving a little bit. But like, pens are important to, and I have literally a pen. Each one of these pens has a different purpose. Like that's how important pens are to me. But just the fact and the matter of just taking a moment and connecting with whatever it is you're saying, that is invaluable, and that's something that journaling offers. And when you do it, you gain insight, you get to see why you're thinking the way you're thinking, you get a better understanding of certain triggers that you may have, and ultimately you may not walk away with solutions, and however, you definitely walk away with insight. So that's one of the key values of journaling in relation to mindfulness techniques. Finally, I want to talk about physical activity, which is slightly different from energy release from the perspective of working out. And when I mean working out, I mean either stretching or lifting weights, like something that is not taxing but will boost your heart rate to a rather increased degree. You can go running, whatever that may be. The value in this is clarity of mind. Honestly, it's clarity of mind. For me, I like to work out. I like to go to the gym. There is nothing like pumping iron just to like free my mind. Nothing else matters but me and this dumbbell and this bench press, the squat rack, whatever it is. That's a sanctuary, a home away from home, whatever the case may be. But in that space and in that environment, um, the mindfulness for me is not focusing on anything else. That's the value of it for me. Um, if you don't want to do that, you can stretch. And one of the benefits of stretching or yoga or any type of movement like that, it just really redirects your focus. It takes your mind off of whatever it is that may have you gunked up or distracted and puts your mind on something that not necessarily matters more, but sometimes we just have too much on our minds. That's just any human being ever, and you can never turn your mind off. You're always thinking, so instead of, being stressed out by things that can potentially be stressful, do something that will instead release stress. Do something that you can, let out a little anger, let out a little tension in yourself, something that will make you feel better after doing it. And not eating's unhealthy in relation to that, falling into toxic relationships is unhealthy in relation to that. I have a whole section on that coming up, but it's just the idea of like, what is a healthy way to deal with this unhealthy feeling or situation or thought process that I have going on. It isn't to fall to vices. It isn't to go to things that aren't going to benefit me. Let me do something that will. And regardless of what type of workout or physical activity that you do, the fact of the matter is, any type of physical activity is healthy, is beneficial, will allow you to feel better, and will take your mind or focus off of something else. Perfect example, if you don't do any of those things that I just mentioned, go outside and go for a walk. Here's how this takes your mind off your stress. You may be walking. First of all, if you walk for 30 minutes a day, you statistically, factually, and actually extend the duration of your life, but also the quality of your life. But the other point is that when you go for a walk, you may start thinking about the thing that was stressing you out, or the thing that had you bugging out or whatever. But eventually, you'll get distracted by the car driving by. Maybe you'll see kids playing or whatever. Maybe you'll see the trees and notice the trees. Like, it'll just, your mind will naturally redirect itself to something else. And that's the benefit of that type of activity or that type of mindfulness technique. So those were the 5 techniques that I wanted to discuss: deep breathing, energy release, meditation, journaling, and working out in some capacity. Hope you found value in that. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.